Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the multiverse, wherever you might be listening, on this Earth, some parallel Earth, or even on an Earth that is controlled by a speedster who thinks he's a god. My name is Rogue Convoy, and welcome to Ultimate Mayhem. Now, yesterday we talked about the Batman who laughs, and now we're moving in from Earth negative 22, which obviously is dead, and we're going from that. We're going to Earth. We're going to the farthest end of the spectrum. We're now headed to Earth negative 52. Now that will include the obviously the Red Death phase of this, and this is part two of basically I'm going to call it the Batman Part Two, and we're going to be talking today about Red Death. We're going to be talking about this lovely looking Batman right here. And if you've ever wondered why my covers are shiny, I have what's known as A covers in comics. They're known as the A covers because they have. Oh, here, I'll show you an example. Because they're all kind of shiny and they reflect in the light and they're kind of cool. So this is the one we're talking about today, and I figured it was a good week because obviously Batman came out last week. Everyone was excited. This is the time to do this. So we're also going to be going through, eventually we're going to go through the drowned Batman of Bryce Wayne, and you'll see a major difference there through it. But for now, we're going to talk about, obviously we're going to continue to talk about the Red Death. Now this is the Batman, this is the figure that went with it, and this was hard to find originally. Now, obviously, you can find a lot of this one anywhere. But originally, when I was hunting this down, this took me a long while to find because I did not know that these particular guys existed. When I say these guys, I meant the Dark Knights. I mean, that was one of my favorite comics after traveling in 2020. So with that, let's just dive right in. You can, again, I'm going to put a link in my video below. I've done the event for Dark Knight's Metal. I've talked about the event itself, and I've given you a lot of the history with it. I'm just going to go straight into the character today. And with that, welcome to Ultimate Mayhem, Red Death Edition. So, this Bruce Wayne, again, it's the same story with every other Bruce Wayne that we've dealt with. You know, he lives a normal life, his parents get murdered, he goes off to train, becomes a Cape Crusader, and becomes like the rest of them. Well, obviously there's a twist to every story, like the Batman Who Laughs, but there's always a twist to each of these stories. But this particular one, he starts normal. Now, Batman used to be the hero of his city, protecting the city with his Robins. However, with time and the city and the crime basically taking its toll on Batman, the city managed to take all the Robins away from him. So they managed to kill every single Robin that he had. And this led to Batman believing that the Flash was not using his speed to his potential and wanted it for himself. In the process, he tried to, trying to get the speed from the Flash, he kills his entire rogues gallery. So Captain Cold, Heatwave, those guys. He basically kills them, takes all their weapons from him. So basically he can go and hunt down the Flash and trying to get the speed from him. Bruce manages to find his success with that and hunts down Barry and basically takes a modified version of the Batmobile. So he's got a modified version where he's attached the Speed Force treadmill. So if you remember from the TV show The Flash, the thing that Barry likes to run on every now and then, give him a good workout. And he also attaches Barry to the front of his vehicle. And eventually he drives all three of them into the Speed Force, creating this new merger of the Batman and the Flash, which we now know as Red Death. So which we now know as this guy right here. So this is the pop figure for Red Death. Put this over to the side. And good enough. And now Barry basically is trapped with inside. So if you remember season 2 of The Flash, it's kind of the same thing except with Firestorm, except the fact that Professor Stein just hasn't given up and moved on with it and just sort of just sits there and doesn't say anything. And the Red Death manages to murder his own entire rogues gallery, which Barry begged, pleaded, and just basically said stop if he could, which he obviously wasn't listening to. The world around him had begun to fall, and as like most negative Earths, it had become unstable. Bruce, so this particular Bruce Wayne was unable to save his own planet, and he approached the Red Death. Sorry, he approached the Batman Who Laughs and asked him how he could save his own planet. The Batman Who Laughs manages to get the Red Death to join his League of Evil Batmen, and with that, he brings the others to the main multiverse. If you remember from the video of my Dark Knight's Metal video, that Batman had basically opened a portal and allowed these 7 Dark Knights to enter. Hence, when he was Batman from Earth Zero opens a portal. Hence, when he was looking through the other universes, allowing the Dark Knights to cross over to our world. So, yeah, Bruce basically opened his portal and allowed the Dark Knights to escape from their own negative universes. So I'm going to reference a couple of the other Dark Knight's Metal. We will do these later. I do promise that. Murder Machine was the one in charge of subduing Cyborg, and the others helped. Thus, they were able to take over the Justice League Watchtower. Eventually, the Batman Who Laughs summons the team to help him take down some of the other heroes. But, like Dr. Fate intervenes and whisks them away. So these heroes that they're trying to capture, trying to do things with, Dr. Fate says, okay, enough's enough, comes in, takes them away. And Red Death made his way to Central City to have a face-off with that version of the Flash. So Earth Zero's Flash, this is the one he's trying to challenge. And he uses Iris West, obviously we all know in the show, the wife, and Wally West, his cousin in the show. I'm not sure if it's his. Yeah. Anyway, I'll just continue on with that. And as hostages, Dr. Fate interferes once more, saving the Flash after Red Death had caught him off guard. So this led to basically the areas being left without heroes, and Earth fell within a week to these guys. And Red Death in Central City caused a giant storm that would kill everybody in the area within seconds. Superman, though, manages to escape from Gotham City, and the Dark Knights, though they go after Nightmaster and eventually kill him, the Justice League had managed to disappear at this point, and they continued the hunt for the metal that would protect the entire city, not just one person who would protect the world. The Dark Knights managed to capture 4 of the Justice League members. So that included the Flash. That includes Cyborg, I believe, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman. Trapping them in the actually not Cyborg. I'm thinking it was Superman, but I'm not 100% sure. And but the Batcave in particular was designed for that member. Red Death proceeds with an attack on the Flash, who was trying to run away from him, to contact Cyborg. Red Death manages to trap him within a cave with nanobots and several Flashmobiles to create more pressure on the Flash. So they gets him with the nanobots, obviously has a few of the Flashmobiles sitting around. I don't know why he would need the Flashmobile after he basically went and became Red Death. But anyway. Barry, along with 3 other Justice League members, are removed from their caves and taken to Gotham to use. So the Dark Knights have this plan of trying to bring their worlds into the real world. So they're using this thing called a tuning fork to bring them forward. The Justice League members were freed by Cyborg, who had been given into the mother box within him. So if you saw the Justice League movie, you know that the little box thing that he carries with him, basically he'd given into some of that power, and there he was allowed to do whatever he wants, apparently. The team was also, so the 4 members were almost captured by them again, but Cyborg was helped keep them free. So when Aquaman and Deathstroke went down to get some nth metal, upon their return they were attacked by Black Manta, who manages to injure both. The nth metal that they were able to retrieve from the core was taken by the Drowned, the Murder Machine, and the Red Death. Aquaman was taken to Gotham, and Bryce, so the Drowned, we're going to talk about her, did not believe in their mission anymore. And the Dawnbreaker notes that the Batman Who Laughs would basically disapprove of what she believed, and Red Death pointed out basically that he would because it shows that he has control over the others, hence it allows them to fear him. Bryce goes over and hits him and reminds him that she was only in to get her home back. That's the only reason she even joined up in this place. She was happy in her world, obviously with things. We'll talk about this. And the Dark Knight attacks a carrier that had Raven, the Flash, and Cyborg upon it. Red Death tried to attack it, but the Flash tried to keep the small universes at bay. So basically they loaded up a cannon that would allow them to shoot this off and bring their universes forward. But the positive energy of trying to keep the universes from expanding caused a chain reaction which released the Barry Allen. So basically Bruce Wayne got sucked back into the body and it released Barry Allen into the world. Barry Allen is then KO'd by the Merciless, and the Devastator arrives, and Barry manages to tell himself to run. Doesn't that sound familiar? Every episode of The Flash of the first couple seasons. Run, Barry. Run. The Red Death dies. So basically, he's killed because of the fact that of all the positive energy that's within him, now is disintegrating him into nothing. And basically gives him one last honor. The Batman Who Laughs gives him one last honor before he dies. Which it was something to do with firing of this cannon, and it failed, and it allowed Barry to see the future. So, with that, we are now done part 2 of this video. We've talked about the Red Death, we've talked about his origin story, we've talked about his impact on the events of the Dark Knight's Metal series. So now we're going to go forward and we're going to talk about the Drowned. Ooh, look at the Hot Topic exclusive. And that is our next week. That is our next video. We're going to talk about her. We're going to talk about the loveliness of her world and her addition to those events. If you haven't watched the Batman Who Laughs video, I do recommend going back and checking that out. If you haven't watched my Dark Knight's Metal video, I do recommend going back and checking that out as well. I'm going to put both links in the description below. So I would like to hear comments, feedback, give a little bit of feedback from you guys. So with that, we're going to let the multiverse be your guide. And we're going to if the multiverse is guiding you somewhere, let it guide you. Let it show you what the new worlds can hold. That is what I've learned with the Negativeverse. They're all new worlds to me. There were new worlds to me. And I found that opening that door allowed me to see something I've never seen before, which I enjoyed. So my name is Rogue Convoy, and that has been part 2 of Batman, the Red Death edition. Thank you.